Motion to resume public session. Cole and Mr. Potensky. All in favor? Okay, unanimous. We're back in public session. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all. Thank you. GC Pride Awards. Nobody wants to step? Oh, okay.
Good evening, Vice President Moscato, Superintendent Daly, and the rest of the Board of Education. I wanted to recognize a group of students. I am missing a couple here, unfortunately, but I wanted to recognize a great group of student leaders that I have up here. 10th grader Mariah Quintana, 11th grader Alana Greiner, and 10th grader Antoine Davis. Just over a year ago, Becca Scott, Principal at Neil Armstrong, reached out to me and wanted to see if I had a group of students that wanted to help participate in a faculty meeting around microaggressions, rather sensitive topic. And these students not only willingly volunteered to be part of this, but did it with an outstanding effort. They were brave enough to discuss the topic with adults and did it with great etiquette, spoke very eloquently in front of a group of adults, answering very difficult questions a number of times. Throughout this school year, at this point, we've now worked with all 4 elementary schools, presented at each of the faculty meetings to continue our work around CRE and DEI. And I really cannot put into words how proud of them I am to discuss this work and how well they spoke around a difficult topic. I can't reinforce that enough. And I did have some recordings of it, but unfortunately OneDrive makes them go away after 30 days. So, but it's been outstanding working with these students, and I could not be more proud of them. So thank you for all of your work here at Gates Shyline. We are very, very thankful for that. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Good evening, Superintendent Daly, Vice President Moscato, and members of the Board of Education. At this time, I'd like to call up my Bit of Budget co-stars and high school economics students, Elias Stewart, Oscar Ruiz, who I believe is not here. No. Okay, Kelsey D'Imperio, Austin Diator, Jazelyn Thompson, and Makai Henderson, who I believe both are not here. So the district is always looking for ways to build trust and foster a culture of transparency with our community. Our past exit polling has shown that voters want to receive information about the budget in multiple places, including social media, in a way that they can understand it. So we began looking for new and innovative ways to reach voters. For 3 years in a row, A Bit of Budget has aimed to educate voters, explain the various parts of the budget, and how they all work together to benefit students. This year, we had the honor of featuring these 3 students and 3 others as part of our series. In each episode, they helped shine a light on how our district spends money and where the money comes from. Each of them took a turn in the spotlight to share with our community the many aspects of our district's budget and how they impact student learning. And it was a lot of fun. In the end, the video series was an integral part of our overall budget campaign and an important resource that they helped to create. This year's optional exit poll that represented almost 60% of our voters showed us that more than 20% of our voters reported these videos as one of their sources of information about the budget. This is great news in terms of communicating our budget to our community. We were fully and truly impressed with their professionalism and dedicated dedication to these roles, and for this, we recognize them with the GC Pride Award. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
I'll give a few seconds. Okay, thank you very much. Congratulations to all our GC Pride Award winners. We really do appreciate their efforts. It helps to make what makes GC so great. Vice President comments. Very simply, I want to thank all the residents who took the time to come out and vote and supported our budget, our resolutions, and elected, just go ahead. We'll go back. Oh, I'm sorry. No, we'll go back. The agenda changes.
We will be removing consent item F, as well as there's been additions to personnel, sir.
Okay, thank you. All right, continuing my comments very quickly. Again, we do appreciate the public taking the time to come out and vote. We elected one new board member, Michelle Jennings, which I think is here someplace, hiding. Oh, there she is. And we have a swearing in at an organizational meeting. So again, the public vote is one of the few overt efforts that we get, or signals we get about how well the public supports us. And so for me, having done this for 20 years, it certainly is greatly appreciated. So thank you all. Okay. Points of interest. Ms. Guys.
Last week, I attended the girls' flag football senior night game. It was a wonderful match to watch, and nice to see the spirit on the sidelines, and congratulations on your season.
Anybody else? Ms. Davis?
Sometime in the last week or two, I attended the high school art show, which was phenomenal. We have amazing talent here in our high school. The awards given honoring the kids was great, and that's it.
Thank you. I also had the opportunity to attend the high school awards assembly. The thing was well organized. I don't know how we got it done in a little over an hour, given all the awards and everything else, but again, it just highlighted how well our students are doing, and also the opportunities that we provide at the high school. I mean, the number of scholarships was enormous. I don't know if anybody kept track of the total cash value of it, but it really was an excellent time. So that's it. Report of meetings, anybody? Nobody wants to meet, don't blame them. Visitor comments, do we have any? No, thank you. You skipped that part. Reports. Reserve plan.
Hello again. Okay. There we go. Okay, thank you again. I'm back here. Just want to briefly touch base on a reserve plan that the business office has been working on, has shared with the Finance, Facility, and Audit Committee, and want to formally communicate that we have a draft plan to share with Board of Education. It's sitting at your locations currently. Also at your locations is another one-pager that we like to share as part of our budget ambassadors process when going over the different types of reserves that we have, what their purposes are, and why we have reserves, that they're not just rainy day funds. They have to be used for very specific purposes under regulations and guidelines. And so that's this one page that you'll see at your spots if you want to take a peek at that at some point. So we've been working on this plan for a good portion of the year. The district has not had a reserve plan in place, and so this reserve plan, the intent would be to put this on the district website upon board adoption. With that, the highlights of the plan cover intended, what are the intended uses of reserves, which is what's on that one pager. What our reserve fund strategy is, what we're trying to accomplish with the reserve fund plan. An overview of what each reserve is, which regulations and laws apply specifically to those reserves, and what we can and can't do with those reserves. An analysis and projected needs, so looking at when the reserves were created, what the thinking of the district was at the time, and also what the projected needs are as we look out towards the future. What would we potentially do with these reserves as we look towards future financial planning? There's also charts sharing historical trend data, so looking back over the last 5 years, how those various reserve plans have trended in terms of the funding that have been either put into those reserves or taken out of those reserves to help support our spending plans. And then finally, at the end is a summary chart looking at our overall trending in terms of fund balance and reserves. And then finally, recommendations. So the idea would be on an annual basis that we review this plan as a Finance and Audit Committee and make any recommendations for the future. And so we would look to do this typically in the April or May timeframe, have the board adopt a new plan, as this is the first year we've done it. We're a little further out, and so looking towards more of a June trajectory. So next steps would be for the Board of Education to review this plan, to share any feedback with the superintendent if you have any. Then Mr. Daly would share this information with me, and I would then take it to the Finance and Audit Committee on June 12th. We would then incorporate any final recommended updates, if any, to have the board adopt it at the June 20th meeting. And so that's really where we're at with the plan. Again, it's been a really good collaboration within the business office and with the Finance and Facility Audit Committee, so I'd like to thank them for all of their work and input in this process. Are there any questions about the reserve plan? Mr. Moscato, am I okay to move on?
Yep, move on.
Okay, so the next item on the agenda was the foundation aid plan. There is a one-pager as well at your table that outlines this foundation aid plan. In accordance with New York State's adopted budget for the years listed up on the slide, we have to create a foundation aid plan in districts all across the county and state are having to do this because foundation aid is finally fully funded, which is great news, and I know we've talked about that in many forums and at many times, so won't belabor that except to say that we're very happy with our foundation aid increase this year. It is more than 10% increase. It's about 24% as a matter of fact. And so as a result of that, we are required to post on our district website a plan on how funds will be used to address student performance and need. So with that, our increase was $6.4 million as discussed as part of the budgeting process, or a little over 24%. In terms of recommendations for what we use this money for, in multiple conversations with the instructional team, one of the main recommendations coming out of this is that we preserve the great work that we're doing in the district. So without this funding, we would need to reduce programming in areas in order to fund something else. And so we want to continue to focus on all the good work that's been doing and continue to fund the program that we offer currently. And so as you can see, that's what's listed up above, and that's also what's listed on the draft page you have in front of you. Another thing that we're required to do is collect any public comment before finalizing this plan. And so prior to posting this plan, we have listed a link up there where individuals, whether it's staff, students, community, can click that link and provide any feedback that they may have on that foundation aid plan by June 23rd at 5 p.m. And then at that time, we would review those results and then report this plan as we're required on the NYSED portal. and then post that final plan on the district website. So we do need to collect that information, and once we do that, we'll be able to move forward with the next steps. Are there any questions about the Foundation Aid plan or anything that we've discussed? Okay. Thank you very much.
Athletic report?
Superintendent Daly, Vice President Viscato, members of the Board of Education. Thank you for your time tonight. I'm excited to do an overview tonight of our athletic department and the school year. And then about halfway through my presentation, I'm going to invite Coach Benham and some of our flag football student athletes here that are just going to briefly share about their experience on our newest program in girls flag football. So my overview for tonight, I'll go over some of our participation numbers, statistics, of who's playing and how often, highlight some of our 3-season student athletes, which continues to grow and is a big initiative in the athletic department. I'm going to spotlight our unified sports program, which is growing, and I foresee it to continue to grow. And then I'm just going to share some general highlights, talk about our newest handbooks, tournaments that we've hosted, and then introduce our flag football program. And then at the end, obviously, I will take questions. So I wanted to just share our athletic participation overview, starting in 2019 to 2020, which is the year that we didn't have our spring athletics season. As you can see, our numbers are continuing to grow. This school year, 22 to 23, we're almost at 1,250 student athlete rostered spots participating in athletics, which is more than we were at prior to COVID. We're in a very healthy spot when it comes to our participation in athletics. We obviously want to continue to increase. There's specific programs that could benefit from more student athletes, but we're in a very strong position. And as you can see from COVID, we're continuing to increase. As I mentioned, our 3-season student athletes is really a point of pride for the athletic department. It's something that we promote. We encourage multi-sport participation, and then we really celebrate our 3-season student athletes. When I arrived in 2016, we were just around 70 student athletes that were participating in 3 sports a year, which is typical, and that's a good number. But we've really reinforced the benefits to participating in multiple sports, and a lot of our students have really answered the call and are participating on 3 sports. So as you can see, the last 4 years, we continue to grow. Last 5 years, we've continued to grow, and we're at 124, which is right around 10% of our total roster number of participants are students that are on 3 different sports, participating in 3 different seasons, actually. So we're really proud about that. And we give them a Gates Child 3-season sport t-shirt that says our hashtag Play3 for GC, which all the kids rave about when they're walking around town. And I love to see it. So we're excited to give out 124 of those this year. And those numbers are modified up to varsity. Another point of pride that we have is our GPA, our collective GPA. Modified to varsity, we are just over a 90% GPA for our student athletes, which we're obviously very proud of and really reinforces education-based athletics. And that's a number that's our highest since I've been here. And obviously, it's a point of pride that we like to celebrate. Individual team honors, I just wanted to recognize some of the individual and team honors from this school year, and this does not include our spring season. All counties, AGRs, those have not come out yet, but if you look at the flyers in front of you, that highlights the actual individuals in fall, winter, and what we have so far in spring for your reference. But we have 53 student athletes that have received all county, either first team or second team. AGR, we have 5 student athletes so far that have been named AGR. 4 teams have been a sportsmanship award winner from either the section or Monroe County. Again, another really great point of pride. Those are our boys and girls soccer, our girls basketball, and our ice hockey programs. Individual award recipients include, our sectional title winners include our boys bowling, and then 4 individuals from track and field got sectional titles. And we predict this spring we'll have especially in track and field, some more sectional title winners when it comes to individual sectional titles. And hopefully flag football too, that's here right now, because they're still in the hunt. Another real quick highlight is our Unified Athletics program. Again, this has continued to grow, another point of pride, and this is really around bringing new students into the athletic department. Increases our sense of inclusivity and sense of belonging to the school district, ties a lot of new students to the athletic department and the benefits from it. We currently have bowling and basketball in our athletic programming, and there's a lot of talk about trying to create a third athletic program in Unified, which I would love to see. We're trying to get bocce off the ground. We brought it to the state athletic tournament, or I'm sorry, the state athletic, the AD conference, and it generated a lot of buzz. And I think in a town like Gage-Chili, bocce, we should be one of the first lead-ins. So I'm hoping that we can champion that. And for our Unified students, student athletes, give them the opportunity to become a 3-season student athlete as well too, and wear that shirt with pride if they only compete in Unified sports. And then a quick shameless plug. Tomorrow night, our Unified basketball will be starting their postseason run. They're playing at Nazareth College tomorrow at 6. One thing that we're really excited about when it comes to Unified, this is the first season we've had our postseason tournament for Unified basketball at a college setting. So we're really excited, just like we're trying to do it for all of our sectional programs, get a site that our students haven't played at, something new, something big, and we can incorporate a local college or university. We really love doing that as well too. So tomorrow at 6, they'll be playing Pittsburgh. And just other highlights around Unified. For the last 7 consecutive years, Gage-Chili has hosted the Inclusivity Summit, which is a summit that brings in multiple districts from Section 5, and we host student-led workshops on how to expand Unified programming in our area. This year we had 12 school districts here. All of our workshops in the PAC and the adjacent rooms, all of the workshops were led by student athletes in Section 5, including our own, on how to promote unified sports and a sense of belonging in their school district. So we'll continue that, and next year will be our 8th hosting that. Other quick highlights, we also take advantage of student leadership programming through Section 5. Here this year, just a couple weeks ago, we were at Pinnacle, and we sent our baseball program, our coach, and some of our baseball student athletes to the summit on sportsmanship and mental health of the student athlete. We're a firm believer in education-based athletics, and a lot of the workshops and teaching that we do are supported through Section 5, and this is one of our most recent examples, and we'll continue this program as well too. And before I start turning it over and we highlight flag football, another quick initiative that we continue to grow and really took a big step forward is our promotion of how to become eligible for NCAA eligibility as a student athlete. So this year, the banner on the right is in both the high school and middle school and multiple spaces with the QR codes on the courses that are approved at Gage-Chili to be eligible for D1 and D2 athletic eligibility. In order to really fortify that information, we held our first annual academic eligibility night in the PAC with families and student athletes that attended. We had a panel with student athletes that are Gage-Chili graduates that were here to talk to our students about the experience of being a student athlete, the requirements, and how best to do that. Additionally, I went to the 8-9 grade transition night and spoke with families about, as you're transitioning into the high school, you need to be cognizant of specific courses you have to take if you want to be eligible. And I wanted to get to the 8th grade families so that they knew it, the students knew it, and we'll continue to go to that meeting every year, just so before everyone enters high school, they have a strong understanding of what it takes to be eligible. And I do have to share that the counseling staff has been really great as we look to bolster this information, and they're reinforcing it with their one-on-one meetings with students as they're asking, do you want to be eligible for college athletics, and that can change their track and the courses that they're taking. All right. A couple more things before we get to the more enjoyable part of this presentation. So our handbooks, we've updated our athletic handbook that all of our families that register their child agree to with the help of coaches and student athletes. So we're very proud of that, and that's on our website. But our newest handbook is our Athletic Contest Operations Handbook. This was developed with our security team and our yellow coats. It highlights all of our facilities and the security measures that we take at all of our facilities, how we enter spectators, how we exit spectators, how we screen spectators, how many staff are on for specific contests and for specific facilities. It's a really great foundation for continued development so we can continue to have safe and welcoming contests here at Case Chi-Lai. And we're very proud of that. I was able to present that at the State AD's conference, and a lot of people have adopted that language into their own handbook. And I thank Eva as well, because as we compiled a lot of that information, she helped us make it look as great as it is. And from those conversations, we're also doing additional training with our yellow coats, who will all become CPR first aid AED trained this June, including Narcan and EpiPen training. So we have additional staff who are all staff members in the district, so we'll have additional staff in all of our buildings that will carry that certification, and we'll do that every 2 years. And this is just a quick plug about Gates Chi-Lai, our relationship with Section 5. On top of the contests that we host for our own sectional contests, we've also hosted, and we do this annually almost, Section 5 Girls Diving Championships, the boys Class AA, B, and C semifinals and regional championships here, and our competitive cheer for both fall and winter was here this year, and we're signed up to do it again next year. So for both game day and competitive cheer next year. So we play an integral role in Section 5. It helps our boosters, it helps our community, and we love bringing those contests here to our community. Okay, I'm done talking for right now. Can I please bring up Coach Benham, and I want to introduce our girls flag football program. Let me just get ready here real quick. So I know Megan's here, Maddie is here, and Alyssa's here. Maya and Danny couldn't make it, so could I invite you all to come on up to the podium? So very briefly, before I turn it over to Coach and to our student athletes to talk about our newest program, this year's been very exciting. There's a lot of buzz around girls flag football. It's growing in New York State. It's growing across the country, and New York State has been one of the first to jump into it, and we're proud here at Case Chi-Lai to be one of the school districts that have done it. Here's a photo. We were at the Ad Pro Training Center at the beginning of the season. We had 3 scrimmages there. Our coaches were working hard all day, doing different drills. We learned a lot of really great things. There was dozens of teams from both Section 5 and Section 6, and it was really fun being in that space, meeting some Buffalo Bills, and learning and growing the game. This is just a photo. Coach Jalen over there is working his tail off, sweating through his hoodie, with us just working with other kids and some of the professionals with the Buffalo Bills in their indoor facility. And again, just at the end, coming together with all these students from the other section and learning the game with them. So with that, I'm just going to ask if Coach could just very briefly share what it means to help lead this. I'm not surprising him with that. Just very briefly share what it means to be the head coach of a very new program, and then I'm going to turn it over to the girls to talk about the actual ones leading a new program that has really created a lot of buzz in our district. So Coach, you cool with that?
Sure, yeah. Hello, everybody. For me, it was a pretty awesome thing and a no-brainer to jump into this because for 32 straight seasons, I've coached football in the fall with boys. And for me, to be able to share my passion with a whole different client base was awesome. And for me, as a teacher and a coach, it's all about getting to know these kids and the other 21 on the roster better. And it's a group of, a lot of them I haven't dealt with. Some I dealt with the play, too. That was a whole new thing. So for me, the relationships, the excitement, if you come to the games, they're phenomenal flag football players and awesome cheerleaders and very supportive of each other. So that's our number one reason for doing it. It was a no-brainer for me. I'm excited about doing it. I wish it was around years ago. We would have done it a lot longer. But it's something that's going to go forward, hopefully even builds with modified and JV as we move along. But the kids we have on the roster are the best of the best, representing the school and the community really well. So I'm proud of them.
My name is Megan. I am a senior and this is the first sport that I've ever played, actually, and never would I thought that I would have joined a varsity sport in high school, and it's been such a great experience. I've made so many friends, and we all just build each other up. No matter what the score is on that board, we're always supporting each other, and it's really nice to see people in the hall that I never thought I would even met are now, like, really good friends of mine, and I love Coach and all the coaches and all the girls that we get to play with, and I have a lot of fun.
I'm Maddie. I'm a junior. This is actually my third sport that I'm doing at the school because I do soccer and unified bowling. When I heard that flag football was coming, I was actually really excited because even watching the football games, like I know that as a girl, like I can't play that one because it's only for the boys, but I just wanted to get out there and like play with them and like take the ball and just run. So being able to like participate in this sport, it's new and it's fun and like exciting. And knowing that now in the future, like all these other girls are going to be able to play it and like make all these new friends and have fun, it's just like really exciting.
Maddie had 3 interceptions on Friday too, by the way. I guess. I had to throw that in there.
Hi, I'm Alyssa Kilner. I'm also a junior, and this season has just been great. This is my second sport that I've done here, and when I heard about flag football was coming to Gateschild, I had to try it out. I mean, and like Megan said, all the friends you make, I never thought that I would be friends with all these girls, and it's great that we all build each other up, and yeah.
So a couple quick highlights about flag football. Last year was the first year New York State Public High School Athletic Association introduced it as an emerging sport. There were 50 teams across the state. This year there's 140, and we're obviously one of them. What's great about this year is last year they didn't have a sectional tournament, they didn't have a regional or state. This year we have a sectional tournament and we're going to have a regional tournament. And we just found out that MCC is going to host the sectional title and it's going to host the regional title here. So we're really pumped about that. And next school year there's going to have a sectional, regional, and state tournament. We have the numbers to support that, so we're pumped. And we found out recently that in 2028, the NCAA is planning to make girls flag football an NCAA sport and an Olympic sport as well too. So, you know, to think about the foundation that our roster, our student athletes are laying for our younger students, our modified students, and even younger, and the possibilities they could have is really exciting. So they play next week, the 30th. We start the sectional tournament, so we're really pumped about that, and I'm happy to take any questions about flag football or the athletic department in general.
Anybody, questions? Could you maybe just review the rules a little bit? I mean, I think most people would understand the concept of flag football, but...
You want to do it real quick? All right, I'll let Coach jump in.
Basically, it's seven players in the field at once. It's 7v7. The biggest change is this field's a little bit smaller. It's similar to 8-man football with the boys. It's 100 by 40 yards. It's got 4 zones in the middle, and the 2 end zones are still 10 yards, same as the boys. So there's no chains. So it's not 1st and 10 like you see in the fall. You'll see if you make it to a zone, wherever you are in that zone, it's a 20-yard zone, you have however many yards it takes you to get to the next zone. So we start the game off at the 20, which is the most difficult zone to get out of because you've got to go the full 20. Usually when you get into another zone, very rarely do you hit that exact yard marker. So if you're 14 yards into that zone, you only need to go 6. So it could be 1st and 6. So that's how it works. So it's basically going from zone to zone, which might sound confusing, but if you watch it for 2 or 3 minutes, you'd be like, okay, I got that. And then obviously the girls have flags on their belts. Every person's eligible on the field, so there's a lot of moving, buying time, passing, because you don't have a line of scrimmage. You don't have to worry about a legal man downfield. I know how familiar you guys are with regular football rules, but so they can throw the ball at any time as long as it's behind the line of scrimmage, and anyone can throw it. So there's a lot of movement. It's pretty fun. It's pretty exciting. If you watched it, if you Google it or watch it on YouTube, you'll see all kinds of flag football. It's been in the South for a while. So, and the talent is just getting better and better and better, and we're adding to that. So.
Other questions?
No, anybody else?
I don't have a question, but I've seen some pretty fierce-looking photos of our girls out there playing.
We do have some good photos circulating. Yeah.
I have one on my phone of Alyssa. That's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. you want to?
So real briefly, going back to GC Pride Awards, I'd like to welcome Makai Henderson. Makai, do you want to come on up? So Makai was our week 6, a bit of budget helper. And so thank you so much for the assistance in the bit of budget process, Makai. And at this time, we'll probably go over and get a photo and just thank you for helping us out with a bit of budget series. It was excellent, so thank you.
Thank you. Yep. Facilities, finance, and audit update.
It's me again.
You again.
Okay, so Finance Facility and Audit Committee meeting was held on May 15th. We talked about the status of the internal claims auditor. There is an agenda item to approve a new, a claims auditor today. We talked about the second and third quarterly reports, and we shared those reports. Mrs. Stanford did a great job in preparing those with her team. We talked about parking at the PLC, handicap parking spots outside of the space, and potential opportunities to look at spots, if able to, noting that obviously we're very restricted on space right near the building, so it could present a challenge, but we are looking at potential options. We talked about solar panels and potentially looking at an energy performance contract, noting that the budget in terms of energy costs for 23-24 is estimated to go up by approximately $1.5 million, which is a significant cost. So what are some things that we could be looking at in terms of grant funding to create some ways to have more renewable energy on site to help reduce some of that cost? And then we talked about the Performing Arts Center and just went over some of the details relating to the sound upgrades and the impact that the stage has on viewing members of our musicals when there's a pit band versus having it streamed from another room. So just kind of reviewed that information once again. And that was the end of the meeting. Any questions about what was covered at Finance Facility and Audit Committee?
Any questions?
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank
Have a
you.
great evening.
Budget vote, Board of Election.
Well, we referred to earlier with Mr. Moscato, all propositions passed, supermajority, which we appreciate. The numbers are here for the public to be able to see yet again that were published that evening. As well as we have 4 members joining us, 3 incumbents and Ms. Jennings in the audience that were elected for 3-year terms, Ms. Davis, Ms. Coffey, and Ms. Jennings, and a 1-year term, Mr. Long. So we're glad to have the team set for next year, and we'll do a reorg in July to get ready for the 23-24 school year. Thank you to the public for their overwhelming support. Had a great turnout, and obviously this validates the hard work the board administrative team have put in to present a budget to plan for the education of all our Spartans for next year.
Okay. Anybody else comments about the election? No? Everybody's happy? Okay. Like a motion to approve the consent agenda? Mr. Long, Ms. Davis, any comments, concerns? Okay, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Excuse me. Approval of consensus items C through H. Mr. Long, Ms. Guys, any comments? questions? All in favor? Thank you very much. Retirements?
Good evening. The board just accepted the retirements from 3 district staff members. The first being Karen Smelt, who is a cleaner at Paul Road. She's been with the district for 24 years, and we wish her well in retirement. Additionally, one of her close colleagues, Rich Castry, who's the head custodian at Paul Road and has been with the district for 30 years, will also be retiring. Big shoes to fill there. We thank him and wish him well in retirement. And then finally, Dirk Sipes, technology teacher at the high school, will be retiring as well after 30 years of service to the district. So we thank them all and hope they enjoy their retirements.
Okay, thank you. Action items. Motion to accept the annual budget and board of election candidate election results for election chairperson, Ms. Stanislav. Motion. Mr. Potensky. Mr. Davis. Anybody have any questions or concerns or stuff? I think we've talked about it a fair amount. All in favor? Vote unanimous. Thank you. Adoption of bus bond resolution. Motion to approve the adoption of the bus bond resolution. Mr. Potensky, Ms. Guys. Any questions, concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Motion to approve the appointment of internal claims auditor for the 22-23 school year, finishing out the year. Mr. Long, Mr. Potensky. Any questions? Seeing none, all in favor? Thank you. Excuse me. Motion to approve the terms and conditions of employment for the Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, effective July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2027. Mr. Potensky, Ms. Little, any comments, questions, concerns? Yes? You have a question, or you just want to?
No, question was just answered.
Oh, okay. All in favor? Unanimous vote. Thank you. Approval of terms, conditions of employment for Assistant Superintendent for Business, effective July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2027. Mr. Bailey, Ms. Kais, anybody have any questions? You know, we can turn this down, you know. No? Okay. All in favor? Yeah. Yeah. Unanimous. Thank you. Approval motion to approve the terms and conditions of employment for Assistant Superintendent of Student Support Service, effective July 1st, 2023, June 30th, 2027. Mr. Long, Ms. Littlewood, anybody have any questions, concerns? Seeing none, all in favor? Unanimous, thank you. Motion to approve the terms and conditions of employment for the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources and Labor Relations, effective July 1st, 2023 to June 30th, 2027. Ms. Guys and Ms. Bailey, Mr. Bailey, any questions? No concerns? Okay, good. All in favor? Thank you. Motion to approve the memorandum of agreement between the Gage-Charlie Central School District and the Gage-Charlie Nutrition Association regarding updated retirement plans. Ms. Littlewood, Ms. Davis, anybody have any questions, concerns, objections? No? Okay, all in favor? Wake up, Robert. I have the following resolution. Resolved that the Board of Education, having heard an appeal from Student A discipline determination made by the Superintendent of Schools, designated as appeal number 1, and following due deliberations, hereby affirm the determination of the Superintendent of Schools. Motion, please. Mr. Potensky, Ms. Kais? Any comments, concerns? All in favor? Thank you very much. Unanimous. Superintendent comments.
Start things off, we have a few important calendar changes to share. The first is this Thursday, May 25th. We will be doing an emergency early release drill. Families, we shared the information about this drill last week. Please review that and take note ahead of this Thursday. And it's not a change, but a reminder, there is no school this coming Friday and Monday for Memorial Day recess. Next, our official last day of school for students will be Wednesday, June 21st. It will be a half day, and a reminder that graduation for the class of 2023 will take place the following day on Thursday, June 22nd at 5 p.m. in our field house. There are a few new hours for the Gates Charlie Food Pantry in effect from now until the end of the school year. The pantry will be open on Wednesdays from 3:30 to 4:30 in the same location. Families in need of this resource should come to door 1 at the high school. For more information on the food pantry, go to gateschiley.org/foodpantry. On Thursday, Gates Charlie had 2 teams placed in the top 10 in the Junior Achievement National Titans of Business competition. JA Titan is a simulation-based program in which the high school students compete as business CEOs, bringing economics to life. 24 teams from across the country qualified for the event, and we had 3 teams qualified. The teams made up of Annika Ahlstrom, Colin Feisner, Haley Garbato, and Emily McManus placed 6th, and Nolan Every, Ben Gorman, Evan Schmidt, and Jericho Yates placed 4th overall. All these team members and many others will be competing on May 31st in the annual region event for scholarships and cash prizes. And today, 2 JA students earned the top spot in the Junior Achievement Entrepreneurship event. Jaslyn Thompson and Emily McManus came in first place for their Shark Tank style sales pitch. We also had second place and third place finishers in that competition as well. Outstanding seniors. So last week I was able to attend the 28th annual Dr. Michael C. O'Laughlin Outstanding Senior Award Recognition Dinner at East High School, alongside our Gates Charlie Outstanding Senior, Braden Nace Brenner. The Outstanding Senior Recognition Dinner is the only program that recognizes excellence in all our county and city high schools at one event. Students were selected for this honor based on their scholarship, leadership, service, and character. Bray was excited to be recognized and was a great representative for all Spartans. He will be attending St. Lawrence University as a history music dual major. Congratulations. We are very proud to share that we were informed that 20 Gates Charlie High School students have been named as Urban League of Rochester Black Scholars. For over 4 decades, the program has provided academic recognition, college readiness assistance, and scholarship incentives to students. Congratulations to all our Spartans who earned this achievement. They will be celebrated at the Urban League's 44th annual celebration on June 5th. Today we celebrated the Gates Charlie Transportation Department's Employee of the Year. This year's recipient, Sue Singh, is a great driver who is very dependable and always willing to pitch in and help. She routinely helps recruits, new drivers, attendants, and all, and is always promoting what a great job being a bus driver is. Congratulations, Sue. This afternoon, our kindergarten Disney Dragons had their sights set on summer during the Summer Safety Celebration. There were fire trucks, ambulances, and other community partners for an afternoon that was equal parts fun and informative about different topics related to summer safety. And then yesterday at Armstrong, the Stars welcomed Rochester native and gymnast Namaya Muhammad to their school. She shared her story about making history as the first gymnast to compete at an NCAA meet representing the HBCU Fisk University. Namaya, who is from Rochester, shared how she was broken barriers in the gymnastics world to stay true to herself. And then last week, 8th grade students had the chance to start thinking about their future careers during the middle school's Career in Demand event. More than 18 different industries were represented by 30 presenters. Students were able to attend 3 presentations ranging from health and medicine, to architecture and engineering, to video game design development and business, to law enforcement and communications. Thank you to the middle school staff and our many community partners who helped to make this event a success. And then finally, I would like to take a moment to thank our outstanding Gates Charlie community for their participation in our annual budget vote and board election. A supermajority endorsed the hard work our team put into developing the budget for next school year, and the hard work that budget symbolizes on behalf of our Gates Charlie students and our school community. I'd also like to take a moment to congratulate our newly elected board members, Mrs. Davis, Mrs. Coffey, Mrs. Jennings, and Mr. Long. I look forward to working with all of you next year, and look forward to continue working with the board, especially through my evaluation. Have a great evening, and that is my report, sir.
Thank you. No need for executive, correct?
No need for executive, sir.
Excuse me. Motion to adjourn? Ms. Davis? Ms. Littlewood? All in favor? I didn't think anybody would object. We are adjourned. Thank you very much for coming.